Hello my beautiful friends and welcome back to our channel. My name is Beck. I am a professional mindset coach and I have a background as a medical doctor. I work with professional, driven women to liberate them from perfectionism, imposter syndrome and people pleasing so they can live a life that they're proud of, so that they can fully express and assert themselves in a way that they're proud of in both their professional and personal lives. Today, I am bringing you one of the most powerful fundamental lessons that I have got from coaching and the wider practice of mind management. This concept is incredibly simple, but like a lot of things in life, just because the concept, the intellectual knowledge of it is simple, doesn't mean the integration is easy. And in fact, I am constantly striving to integrate, embody this concept in my life still, more and more and more, with as much practice of this skill, actual application of this skill, to be able to maximize my own results in my life. This concept, if you're hearing it for the first time, and if you've never experienced coaching for yourself, then this can easily go straight over your head, and you cannot appreciate the significance and the power that this concept has. But when my clients get this concept, when the switch flicks in their head, and they recognize the impact of this concept, their world opens up and suddenly all the coaching that we do is that much more impactful because they're able to use this paradigm shift to change the way that they apply the tools, to change the results that they create in their life. So please, I'm begging you, for your sake, for the next few minutes, I want you to open your mind to this concept. At first, you might reject it. In fact, I had a client the other day who was telling me, frankly, at first, when you were in our first couple of sessions, when you were teaching me and when we were coaching, there were so many things that I found offensive that you said. And this is so common with people new to coaching, that the tools that we use, we're so used to criticizing and blaming ourselves, trying to assign blame in our lives, that as you hear these coaching concepts, they can sound like blame. They can sound like we're saying it's all your fault. But in coaching, everything we do is moving towards empowerment. Being empowered means having the right or power over something. You cannot be empowered in your life if you're not willing to accept and take ownership of what there is in their life. And where we get tripped up is we conflate having ownership or authority over something as also being the one to blame for something. Commonly, you hear these coaching concepts for the first time in your life and they're gold. They have the ability to create so much goodness in your life, but we will reject them because we hear it as blame. And it's so painful to hear that all of what we created so far in our life, the good and the bad, but in particular we focus on the bad we are to blame for. And that is simply a common misinterpretation of coaching. It's one perspective you can choose to take, I suppose, with coaching. So my beautiful friends, take the lens of this is for you. This concept that I share with you today is for you. It is not against you. It is for the sake of empowerment, authority, power, ownership in your life, which also means you have authority, ownership, and power over what is to come in your life. And isn't that what we all want? So my beautiful friends, without further ado, the concept today is you don't have to believe all of the thoughts, any of the thoughts that your mind offers. All of your thoughts are optional in terms of whether you accept them in as something that is true. So that's the definition, if you like, or one of the definitions of a belief, something that you accept as true. Now, the general function of your mind is it's just producing thought after thought after thought after thought all day long. Without your conscious input, it is looking around the world and also inside of you, and it's making interpretations. Those interpretations come out as thoughts, sentences in our mind. And what most people do that gives away so much of their power is they accept those thoughts in their mind as true. Now, here's the thing. That's not something that you consciously do on purpose. The key is that it's more the default of our mind to produce a sentence and then for us to accept it as true, to not question the thought, to not hold that thought in our conscious mind as optional and up for questioning, right? So to not believe everything that your mind offers, to not accept everything as true that your mind offers, you need to take an active step of questioning the thought, of even just recognizing the thought as a thought as opposed to a truth. This is an active intervention that most of us don't do. And hey, that sounds like a lot of work, doesn't it? With all those 50 to 60,000 thoughts that we supposedly have per day, to recognize each of them as a thought, let alone question them as to whether they're true or not, that is a lot of work, isn't it? And that's just one of the reasons why you're not gonna want to do this, why it's easier for you to just allow your mind to keep running and pushing out thoughts like a thought factory, and for you to not recognize them as thoughts, let alone question them, because it's hard, because it's a lot of work. Now, firstly, you do not need to question all of those tens of thousands of thoughts. That's never been the suggestion of coaching. But more importantly, even just questioning one important thought per day, per week, even just questioning, if you question one important thought this year, it could change your life. How does it change your life? Because your thought determines your emotional state, and your emotions are what drive your behavior. This is our cognitive program. It's one of the ways of recognizing how our thoughts create our outcomes in the world, why our thoughts actually matter, and why it's actually important if you want to live a life that you create rather than one that's by default. If you have certain goals you want to achieve, or a certain integrity that you want to show up in your life, then questioning your thoughts is your ticket to that. And allowing your thoughts to just run on default will guarantee that you don't create what is in your best integrity, because your behaviors and emotions will be driven by thoughts that aren't in your integrity, that aren't actually what you believe, but they're just these default and flawed interpretations that your mind produces. So yes, this is extra work. To think about your thoughts as optional, to not believe every thought that comes into your mind. It is extra work. But I want you to remember that this work is for you. This time in your life is going to pass anyway. You're going to feel positive emotions, negative emotions, and everything in between anyway. Life is going to be hard and easy, fantastic and terrible. It's going to be all of these things. And by the end, do you want to have spent your life living on purpose, living from thoughts that you want to believe are true, that are within your integrity, that create the results that you want? If you do want to live a life on purpose, then you need to hold your thoughts as optional, so that you cannot live from your automatic mind and instead live from your integrity in terms of what you want to believe and what you want to think and how you want to act in the world. That is available to you. Yeah, questioning your thoughts is more work. Considering your thoughts as just thoughts is uncomfortable and scary when you do it for the first time. It creates so much uncertainty. But it also creates all of these opportunities for you. And that's what I want for you. I want that for everyone. I truly believe that if we are all able to be more conscious of our mind and decide on purpose what we think and move around the world from the place that feels best to us, it feels like it's creating the greatest good for us, instead of by fear and by flawed automatic thoughts, that the world will be a better place for everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Even if it was uncomfortable, let your mind have a break and revisit this concept at some point over the next 24 hours. Maybe set an alarm that says, I don't have to believe everything I think. My thoughts are optional. I can think whatever I want. Just to prompt your mind again to consider that this is possible, and think about why this paradigm shift is important to you. If you know that this is the kind of work that you need to do in your life, if this is the level of control and intentionality that you want to create in your life, then my beautiful friends, watch out for my group coaching program. The doors are going to be open soon and there will be a founding member offer, and it's an especially special opportunity to be one of the founding members because you're going to have more attention in the coaching space when there's still a smaller group of us. So don't miss this special opportunity. I mean, it's only going to happen once. Jump on my waitlist if you want to be one of the first people to hear about when the doors are opening and how you can get a spot in the group coaching program. My beautiful friends, I love you so much and I will see you in my next one.